Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. The court of public opinion is now in session as we prepare the verdict.
Let's all go to court. Let's go make some law now. Yeah. Some law.
Bum bum ba-dum bum 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 dum bum ba-dum bum. That's Law and Order.
I get you.
Okay, sorry.
Will the defendant please rise?
And who's the defendant?
Nicolas
Coppola
Cage.
I cannot wait.
Well, speaking of a cage, that's a nice place for him.
Yeah. So rude.
Oh,
so
no. So,
don't worry, Nick. I'm not going to let him slay you like that.
these self-inflicted wounds.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're here. You glad I'm here?
Yes,
Yes.
for sure.
So I'm Dr. Paul.
I'm Diet Dr. Paul.
And this is Rotten Potatoes, where we bake them, fry them, stir them up, hot.
King of the couch potatoes.
That's exactly right. Where we talk father-son, if you didn't get it, movies, all kinds of movies. And here we are in November 2024, getting to the end of a year.
This one will probably be in December sometime,
You
maybe
think?
early December.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, we drop a new episode every single Thursday without exception, like clockwork, and as well as other little treats here and there, all about movies, all kinds of movies. And we suggest for your New Year's resolution is that you pledge to go back to our very first episode and watch them all back to back in one sitting. You are allowed to bring food and a pot to relieve yourself in, but and see how that will change your life.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I promise you, we'll be there with you every step of the way.
Yes, we will.
This kind of behavior is never tolerated in Boracua. They put you in jail right away. No trial, no nothing.
So this is a little bit different kind of episode than we normally do.
We've taken a little break from them.
Yeah.
But now we're back.
And explain.
It's the verdict. You're ready to be judged, juried, and executioned. We're going to look at something and really decide, is it good? Is it bad? Is it abominable? Why? And why? And then you'll find out and you'll know. And you can stop asking Google.
What the is the internet?
Well, and we have a perfect subject for court today.
Yes, this was the first name on my list when I started keeping a list of potential verdict ideas about a year ago. We started doing these types of things. And I had initially started a list. I don't even have the notebook anymore. I've gotten a new notebook because I filled that one up. It's been so long. But it is Nicolas Cage, the perfect.
And when I started my list, when we first started talking about that, Will Ferrell was on my list.
Yeah, I totally believe that.
Yep. So, don't we normally do what's the good side of the subject and then the bad side and then what's our final culmination of all of that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So what do you want to?
I mean, I could start since you probably don't have anything nice to say.
Well, I have things nice to say.
Well, let me just round him out for you. Monsieur Nicolas Cage. First of all, you know his son's name is Kal-El. Coppola Cage. What is the coolest flippin' name on earth?
Well, he has another son called Western.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah.
Yeah, your name's okay. But he's got 123 acting credits, 25 producer credits, and 1 directing credit. His first real acting role, as I would consider it, is not his first credit, but that would be from Fast Times in Ridgemont High as Brad's bud, which I guess he originally read for the role of Spicoli. Him and what's the redheaded guy? Eric
Stoltz.
him as well. But that's really where he got his start. So The Good. I think that he may be a little light on what I like to call the classics. He's only got a few classics. Here are what I consider his classics: Raising Arizona, Adaptation, Pig, Joe, and recently Longlegs. But I don't think you'll agree with that last one. And one more I just actually skipped over, The Rock. Those are what I consider his classic films. Aside from that, I'll just go ahead and go to what I consider good. So these aren't as transcendent, but I consider these to be good films. Matchstick Men, Con Air, Mandy, Face Off, Bring Out the Dead, Arcadian, The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, Willy's Wonderland, Color of Space, Into the Spider-Verse, Kick-Ass, Lord of War. Yeah, I figured. So he's got a long list of films in his career. He's got a number of good films in his career. And he seems to at least consistently find success. Why are you laughing?
I'm just. Hey, boss, my boyfriend.
I don't have some love affair with Nicolas Cage. He's not, I wouldn't consider him like a favorite actor of mine, but I do enjoy some of his films, particularly things like Con Air. I think Nicolas Cage is at his best when he's not playing to Hollywood's rules. I think he's at his best when he does the opposite of what he would have normally done in 95 or 99. When he steps outside. Adaptation is a perfect example. That's the best Nicolas Cage. Someone who is in touch with the acting portion of the movie and not, picking some big budget Hollywood movie to put his name in lights.
Right. There are a lot of people who would agree with what you said, and your analysis of him playing against Hollywood is that I've seen that over and over again. That's sort of what he does. That's how he's wired. And I would, on my list of the good, I had The Rock, Peggy Sue Got Married, Face Off, Leaving Las Vegas, which is he's had two Oscar, one Oscar win and one for Best Actor for Leaving Las Vegas and a nomination for Adaptation. Raising Arizona, Mandy, Matchstick Men, and you didn't mention, but Guarding Tess, which was...
I don't think I've seen that.
Yes, it was him and Shirley MacLaine, and he's like a Secret Service protecting, her kind of deal. And which is wonderful to watch him butt up against this Hollywood icon. So yeah, that was that was his the good, and then the bad is everything else.
But there seems to he reminds me a lot of John Travolta. Except for John Travolta, it seems as though there was sort of an ebb and a flow. To John Cusack, there was an ebb and a flow to their success and the poor choices that they may or may not have made. The craziness with Nicolas Cage is, yes, he seemed to lose his mind for a little bit in 2010, but he also seems to consistently pick crap projects to be a part of. And I don't necessarily know why. They're just everywhere. What am I missing? What happened? Is he just a quirky guy? Daddy! Mommy! And it's fine if he is.
I read an essay that somebody had mentioned that he does exactly what you said, that he plays against Hollywood. He picks roles that he wants to do and sort of pleases himself. And he's got this how he immerses himself into a role, and then you have where it's followed. It's more at the script level, and it's like vacillating between some of those where you're doing. Obviously, when he did the Con Air or those kind of things, that was Nicolas Cage on the script page, and then you have others like Longlegs where you can say, okay, this guy needs to switch to decaf.
Mm-hmm.
It's that waffling back between, but they say that that's what makes him so good. And even his worst roles, he still has an amazing presence.
Yeah, it's kind of like, you think like Kenneth Branagh, right? Like a guy who seems to have the touch of creatism and the ability to create, but also maybe a little bit quirky, a little crazy, and maybe there's something to that. And if Nicolas Cage's success has hinged strictly on him just picking roles that he wants to do, you know what? I have no problem with that.
Yeah.
I am so behind that. If he was doing it because his agent said this is the next blockbuster movie, I'd have a big problem with that. But if it's just like, I think playing in the Left Behind series sounds interesting. Do your thing, bro. If I think being in Jiu-Jitsu the movie is groundbreaking and interesting and something that I can sink my teeth into, power to you. I think that's what movies is all about, is being able to express yourself. And not everybody's going to agree with it, because he's done a lot of movies that people would agree are pretty bad.
If he wanted to be a star, he would have taken Coppola, the name Coppola.
And that's my thing is, what did that have to do with some of it? You know, I guarantee you he from a young age has been surrounded by filmmakers and actors and directors. And how did that change you as a person? He's clearly not a perfect actor, but I think there's something to that, and something that's sort of admirable and honorable about that, especially in a place where it's all about the money.
Yeah.
All about the Benjamins.
My problem with a lot of this is it's evident in, I laughed out loud when I just sat down and I just Googled Nicolas Cage, and things come up. The fourth thing that came up was, has Nicolas Cage ever turned down a role? And I laughed out loud and I thought, obviously not. Now they were asking, has he ever turned down a role that sort of,
like a big role?
Yeah, kind of stuff. And I was thinking, no, he seems to just, he's never turned down a role. And obviously the 200, screen credits that he has. But it's interesting that the two that he turned down was Lord of the Rings and Matrix.
What did he turn down in Lord of the Rings?
I don't know.
Somebody else turned down Lord of the Rings too, a big actor. I heard a story.
The reason he turned down both, and what they were in the response to this, is that this was, we look at him now saying there's no way he could have been in either of those films, but this was during his heyday, where he had a string of films
in like 97 or 98.
that were really close together, where he did Con Air and he did The Rock, and the sort of like the meat of his popular career kind of stuff. And but he did it because he did not want to leave and be gone for 3 years to miss his kids growing up, which it tells you a little bit about the guy. He's grounded. He's not seeking stardom.
You don't see problems with him in the tabloids. Yes, he's become sort of this internet meme. Like, you have the Nicolas Cage pickle that I bought Heather for Christmas, which is, I have no idea why I bought that. Why is there a Nicolas Cage pickle? I don't know. He's a big meme online. They use him a lot in like funny video clips because of the weird acting roles that he's sometimes portrayed. And I think maybe that sort of lends itself to a poor public opinion of him.
Yeah, I do see sometimes they're what I call overacting. I thought he did that in Long Legs. He definitely did that in Renfield. You mentioned Left Behind. I really, really wanted to like. I couldn't even finish the film.
I mean, I never saw it.
Yeah, and,
I read the books, I believe.
Anything with Ghost Rider in the title. I'm just that.
Yeah, I saw both of those.
I couldn't.
The first one was terrible. The second one was watchable.
Honeymoon in Vegas. Yeah. We got to say Superman. We've talked about that before.
I guess technically he never.
I know.
They put him in, and he's credited in the new Flash film, but he wasn't actually there for that.
Right. Yeah. Just because they used an old. Yeah.
I would love to see him as Superman. I'm telling you. Just to be able to see that film now, oh my God, we would just stop and watch it right this second.
I would rather watch Pee Wee Herman play Superman.
I mean, it's about the same.
Yeah. So,
what's the verdict? Okay. Don't be mad at me, Nicholas. I think he is a very capable actor, and I think in the right performance, he can be one of the greatest actors alive. He's clearly proven he's capable of it. But I think that his truth, his happiness means more to him than success through strangers' eyes. And so I think because of that, we will never know what's coming next. And you'll never be able to put a finger on like okay, is his next movie going to be good? Is it going to be bad? Is he lost his mind? I think, no, he's just out there living his life, and we just need to accept it. And sometimes we're going to see some really awesome movies from him, and sometimes we're going to see some head scratchers. And I'm okay with that.
I totally agree with your assessment. I mean, you talk about, the more times that you're at bat, the more opportunity that you have to strike out, but also the more opportunity you have to hit a home run. My problem is a little bit overexposed. Very similar reaction to this and the episode, the verdict we did on John Cusack. Although I like John Cusack more of his roles than I like with Nicolas Cage. He makes very bold choices, and he takes risk in the stuff that he does, and he needs to be applauded for that. I think my final analysis is that he is an acquired taste.
True, I could get
I
behind
just
that.
haven't acquired it. But in some cases, I like his more mainstream things. I don't like his the fringe stuff. And you think about it, you got to give the guy some credit. And in the end, I'm going to give him a thumbs up. But you don't want, why do you want to go to work every day and do the same things? I know there are people that do that. There's a certain amount of repetition that goes with it. But you ultimately, if you want to do well, you want to explore and you want to push the envelope and try something new and different and see how that works for you. And I think that's what he does. And he clearly, the fact that he said no to the two films, at least that we know of, for family reasons, the fact that he didn't capitalize on the Coppola name or capitalize that on the name, I just think
Coppolaized.
I think that he needs to be applauded for that. And keep waiting. I'd like to see him do something a little bit more mainstream.
Yeah, I mean, I obviously from a selfish fan perspective, I'd like to see him be more picky with his roles. But then that's when we don't see the Mandys or the adaptations. Maybe those aren't the gems that you get from him really stepping out of his boundaries. So I would say no. I will be more vigilant in what movies of his I decide to watch.
I would actually like to see him in a TV series with a recurring role.
Yeah.
And I think that would be really something that you can't get any more mainstream than television. So something like, Billy Bob Thornton has done a number of series that are just wonderful. I'd like to see Nicolas Cage do that. And,
I mean, he could.
Yeah,
he absolutely could.
Yeah,
You got
a
the
detective
chops.
film kind of stuff.
Yeah, he's got the abilities to do it. So that's the bottom line.
Yeah. Well, what do you think?
1,000 million memes is what they think.
Yep. It comes down to people either love him or they hate him.
Yeah, I think that just like his movies are going to be hot and cold for people.
And he is probably just okay with that.
And he's like, okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Did you like any of my movies? I will say he has some of his bad movies are kind of guilty pleasures of mine. I like that movie Knowing, where his son opens up a time capsule and inside it's just a list of numbers. And his dad gets the sheet one night and is like looking at it, and it turns out to be linked to all these mass casualty events and the end of the world. It's a silly movie, but there's something charming about it.
I agree with you on that. I really, really like Con Air.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But I'm not a fan.
It's not because of him.
No. Yeah.
No.
Put the bunny back in the box.
I think we just did that one.
We did.
Yeah.
I
forgot about that.
Yeah. Well, we're interested in what you have to say. And as always, like and subscribe to us. Check money orders, all that kind of stuff. You can tell.
Gold.
Yes. Crypto.
Copper.
Yeah. That's what you should do.
Yeah. No, don't do that. We're not culpable.
Yeah. All right. But we will see you at
the movies.
The movies.
Kill